Okay, here we go, our spring concave cut. So I'll section off at our natural parting. I'll comb the hair straight out, forward, and from here I'm cutting in my concave shape. Make sure you're combing the hair super clean from roots to ends. Now with this technique, I'm cutting around the head. So the sections will be pivoting off the original. So think of it like a pie shape. Next section, I comb the hair straight out, following my guideline. Now this fringe is a bit short, so it may drop out. Whatever doesn't reach your section, your guideline, just leave it alone. That's not your technical shape. Okay, and throughout this technique, I'll be moving around the head shape. Again, as I said, with this technique, my sections pivot from the same point of origin. So I will technically be cutting the head in that manner, and I will also be moving around the head shape in the exact same manner. The reason for that is it'll give me the greatest amount of control, as different areas of the hair, you may find it more challenging than other areas. So here, as this is my final section through the side, and after that I can anticipate the difficulty to increase, because from there on, through the back, the head starts to round. So still combing the hair up, out, following the guide. And again, make sure that you're working around the head, comb the hair to natural fall, make visual assessments. Okay, so my next section, again, it pivots off the original. Okay, so remember, comb the hair super clean from roots to ends. Now, even though I'm working round, I'm still using a decent amount of over direction, just to ensure that the shape that I'm creating goes from shorter in the front and flows naturally into longer to the back. So I can achieve this through over direction, in addition to the actual angle that I'm cutting. Again, the angle that I'm cutting is concave, so to retain length through the outline and remove heaviness through the top. So I get to kill two birds with one stone just by incorporating these two details. Okay, so notice how gigantic of a section I have to work with now. Now my body position is just right there parallel to the shoulder, because again, I'm working around the head. That's the shape that I'm cutting. So I have my body follow the shape that I'm cutting. Now when you're working with large sections, just know you have to go in and break them down into smaller, more manageable areas. Unless your fingers are like a foot long, then you're the exception. But for the rest of us humans, it's highly advisable to go in and break down gigantic sections into smaller, more easily manageable sections. Okay, and as you cut, just make sure your stroke is super clean. When I say super clean, I mean that you have to be combing the hair clean from the roots to your guideline. And also the speed of your stroke. You have to give yourself enough time to visually assess whether or not you have combed that hair clean from roots to the ends. And when I say clean, I mean that the strands of hair that I comb are just as straight and parallel to the teeth of my comb. Now I've reached the halfway point, so I'll go back through the top and I'll start cutting the right side. So again, it's the exact same technique. I'm combing the hair up, over directing forward, cutting in that concave angle. And as I cut the right side, ideally I would want my elbow to be high, because again, that will allow my fingers to fall into the proper position to cut in the best concave shape. Now again, we're working with pivoting sections around the head. Okay, next section. Again, our sections pivot. We're combing the hair super clean from roots to the ends. As I stroke the hair out, I have my comb mimic the angle that I intend to cut. So as I comb out the hair, I just need to make sure that the angle of my comb doesn't deviate and I just have my fingers follow the backside of my comb. So what I mean to say is that my comb is it's in charge throughout the stroke. Once I start to reach the guideline, then I'll incorporate my fingers just to hold the hair in place. My comb is more excellent than my fingers. And what I meant by that is that as my comb won't change shape. So I need to cut a concave line. So if I were combing the hair just using my fingers might jiggle and wiggle around, but my comb won't. Okay, so again, I'm working around the head, so my body position is different. I'm still working from high to low. And the amount of elevation is quite high because I want a very soft fall. When the hair falls naturally, I don't want it to fall too heavy or too bulky or too rigid. So my elevation is quite high because, again, I'm going for an overall softer effect. And for the blow dry, I'll go in with a paddle brush, and initially I'll just start leafing the hair. I want just a little bit of root lift, not anything that's too, I'm not going for overkill with the root lift, there's something that's soft and organic. And then once the ends are dry, I'll go in and I'll bevel them a bit. I'm just going for a lot of movement. I'm not using too much tension because I don't want to pull the shape too flat. Now that the hair is dry, I'll go back and I'll just technically do my cross check, and I'm just refining the shape. I don't want to fall too heavy, so I'm just chipping into maybe at maximum about an inch deep from my guideline. And as I texture the hair, I'm working in density and shadows. And I like to texturize the hair to the point where I can comfortably comb the hair from roots to ends. And as you texturize the hair, you may find that some areas are thicker, some areas are more sparse. So the sparse areas you really don't have to texture as much or at all. You just need to make the heavier sides mimic the density of the lighter. For the outline shape, I'm just going in, just chipping into the tips at natural fall. I'm just using the edges of my shears. This is all the detail work, and I'll polish up the fringe. Okay, well there you have it, our spring concave cut. Enjoy.